Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. At least 3 killed and over 87 injured as Israeli airstrikes hit Houthi targets in Yemen, day after Tel Aviv drones attack. Protests continue in Bangladesh over job quota issue. Government declares Sunday and Monday as public holidays. Nearly 1,000 Indian students returned from Bangladesh. Nepal's Prime Minister PM Oli to seek vote of confidence in Parliament on Sunday. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate the 46th session of World Heritage Committee at Bharat Mandapam today. Over 2,000 delegates from over 150 countries to attend the meeting. Israeli forces struck targets in Yemen in a retaliatory strike in which at least 3 have been killed and 87 are injured. The Israel Defense Forces said the fighter jets struck military targets of the Houthi terrorist regime in the area of Yemen's Hodeidah port on Saturday in what Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said was a direct response to the death of a 50-year-old Israeli in a Houthi drone attack on Tel Aviv on Friday. This is the first time Israel has struck Yemen, according to Israeli officials. As the Israeli forces struck targets in Yemen, fire was seen at various spots. Fire raged in Yemen's Hodeidah port after Israeli fighter jets struck military targets in the area. Post the strike, Israel's military spokesperson said that the port had been used by Houthis to receive weapon shipments from Iran, while the Houthi Supreme Political Council has said that there would be an effective response to the Israeli airstrikes. The strike on Yemen, as per Israeli officials, came after more than 200 Houthi attacks on Israel.
The Houthis' attacks are acts of aggression, a violation of international law, and a threat to the international peace and security. Today, Israel stepped up its actions in self-defense against these attacks. The Israeli Air Force conducted precise strikes on Houthi military targets in Yemen. The military target was the El Hodeidah port, used by the Houthis as a main supply route for the transfer of Iranian weapons from Iran to Yemen, like the UAV itself that was used in the attack on Friday morning.
As the Israel-Hamas conflict continues, calls to secure the release of hostages are being made. Thousands of Israelis attended weekly rallies in Tel Aviv and at other locations across the country on Saturday evening, urging Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu not to fly to the U.S. when a hostage deal appears to be at hand. Netanyahu is slated to take off late on Sunday for Washington, where he's scheduled to address a joint session of the United States Congress on Wednesday. The Hostages and Missing Families Forum in Israel has launched a campaign demanding Netanyahu to stay in Israel to continue talks with Hamas for a truce in Gaza and the release of hostages. U.S. Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump, alongside his running mate, Senator J.D. Vance, took to the stage at a rally on Saturday. Now, this was Trump's first public rally since the July 13th assassination attempt against him. Addressing the crowd with a flesh-colored bandage covering his right ear, Trump dismissed allegations about his involvement in Project 2025, calling them misinformation.
I don't know what the hell it is. It's Project 25. He's involved in Project. And then they read some of the things, and they are extreme. I mean, they're seriously extreme. But I don't know anything about it. I don't want to know anything about it. But what they do is misinformation and disinformation, and they keep saying, he's a threat to democracy. I'm saying, what the hell did I do for democracy? Last week, I took a bullet for democracy. What did I do against democracy? Crazy.
Meanwhile, Donald Trump's vice presidential pick, Ohio U.S. Senator J.D. Vance, ripped U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris in the rally.
The Vice President, Kamala Harris, she doesn't like me. Kamala Harris said something to the effect that I have no loyalty to this country. Well, I don't know, Kamala. I did serve in the United States Marine Corps and build a business. What the hell have you done? What has she done other than collect a check from her political offices? And we have to give her credit, my friends. She did serve as border czar during the biggest disaster open border that we've ever had in this country. Let's get President Trump back there.
Meanwhile, updating about the health of U.S. President Joe Biden, his doctors sent a letter to White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre on Saturday. In the letter, the doctor had said that Biden has completed his 6th dose of Paxlovid and is still experiencing a loose, non-productive cough and hoarseness. But his symptoms continue to improve steadily and he is continuing to work. The doctor added Biden's pulse, blood pressure and other main vitals remain absolutely normal and he continues to tolerate treatment well and will continue Paxlovid as planned. Unrest in Bangladesh has escalated on Saturday despite Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's call for talks with protesting students. The government declared Sunday and Monday as public holidays with only emergency services allowed to operate. Soldiers continue to patrol the deserted streets of Dhaka, allowing officers to fire on mobs in case of extremity, as clashes have resulted in over 114 deaths this week. The court will hear appeal against reinstatement of quotas on Sunday. Earlier on Saturday, the authorities imposed a national curfew, easing it for 2 hours in the noon to allow people to shop for supplies and complete other chores. Meanwhile, people from Bangladesh crossed the border to India as deadly protests against government job quotas persist. The people entered India through borders at neighbouring states of West Bengal and Tripura and went through a series of security checks upon their arrival. Nearly 1,000 Indian students have returned home through various land ports and flights since the violence began. The U.S. State Department has also raised Bangladesh's travel advisory to level 3 on Saturday. It urged people to reconsider travel to the Asian country amid ongoing protests. Let's rewind a bit and see what's the cause of all the unrest in Bangladesh. This report has the key concerns. Take a look.
Why are students protesting in Bangladesh? It's been sparked by a court order. On 5th of June, the High Court ruled on petition filed by the children of nationally recognized freedom fighters. The court restored 30% reservation and struck down a government circular, which in October 2018 had scrapped freedom fighter and other quotas. The students and teachers want quotas to be capped at 10%. The protesters have clashed with police and Bangladesh Chhatra League, which is the students' wing of the ruling Awami League party. The government says it agrees with the students and has appealed to the Supreme Court, which has suspended the High Court order. It will now hear the matter on August 7. Prime Minister Hasina has urged protesters to be patient until then. But it's a July 14 statement of Prime Minister Hasina that has irked them. She's seen to have equated them with Razakars. Razakars were mercenary collaborators of Pakistan who led a brutal campaign against Bangladeshis in 1971, resulting in the deaths of 3 million Bangladeshis. This violence is now being driven by wider economic discontent, high inflation, growing unemployment, shrinking forex reserves. The 30% quota for freedom fighters is not all. There are 10% quotas each for women and backward districts, 5% for members of tribal communities and 1% for persons with disabilities, taking the total reservation to 56%.
How can the government run these attacks? We have been saying since the beginning that we, our students, belong to general category. It is a matter of common sense that over 50% of the jobs cannot be given away to quota holders. A normal state cannot be run like this.
The Bangladesh Bureau of Statistics data shows 1.8 million to 1.9 million young people joining the job market every year. Government jobs are highly coveted as they promise stability and a guaranteed income. Bureau Report, DD India.
Nepal's newly appointed Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli will take a vote of confidence in Parliament on Sunday. As required by the Constitution, the newly appointed Prime Minister should take a vote of confidence from Parliament within 30 days of the appointment. Oli was appointed Prime Minister on 14th of July. He requires 138 votes in the 275-member House of Representatives to win the vote of confidence. Death toll jumps to 12 after torrential rains caused heavy flooding in northeastern China. Several bridges have submerged in flood waters. Calling the situation grim, Chinese President Xi Jinping urged all-out rescue efforts, stating that China is in a critical period for flood control and that local governments must take responsibility to enhance monitoring and early warning. A total of 17 cars and 8 trucks were confirmed to have fallen into the water, and 31 people were reported to be missing. Soldiers conducted search operations along the river, whilst firefighters rescued people trapped in their homes. A quick look at other stories making it to the headlines from across the world. Fire engulfed an apartment building of Paris's 2nd district, with flames spreading through the building's roof and a smoke column rising over the city. Firefighters responded to the incident with several fire engines and could be seen deploying ladders to reach the blaze. People were also present, though it remained unclear whether there were any casualties or what caused the fire. Spain's National Weather Agency issued a red heat alert, the highest warning in the region of Valencia in eastern Spain, as the country officially experienced its 3rd and last day of an intense heat wave that has pumped thermometers beyond the 40 degrees Celsius mark in many parts of the country, especially the south. Seeking respite from sweltering heat, people flocked to beaches where the temperature was in the mid-30s. In a spectacular display of technology and creativity, a drone show featuring the beloved Japanese cartoon character Doraemon captivated a large crowd in Hong Kong. The event took place at the iconic Victoria Harbour, where thousands gathered to witness the sky filled with hundreds of synchronized drones, forming intricate patterns and animations of Doraemon and his friends. Drones equipped with LED lights created a series of dynamic images, including Doraemon's famous gadgets and his signature bell. Turkish Cypriots celebrated the 50th anniversary of Turkey's military intervention in Cyprus, an event they view as a liberation following the brief Greek-inspired coup in 1974. The intervention, known to Turkish Cypriots as the Peace Operation, was aimed at protecting the Turkish Cypriot community and restoring constitutional order after a coup by Greek Cypriots seeking unification with Greece happened.
The unification talks collapsed in 2017.
The African Union has adopted a strategy to guide the use of artificial intelligence technology to drive the continent's development. Delegates from across Africa are holding discussions in the Ghana capital, Accra, at the 6th Africa Union Mid-Year Coordination Meeting. DD India's correspondent Nabil Ahmed Rufai reports on this.
Delegates from the African Union gathered in Accra believe science, technology, engineering and maths or STEM education are key to unlocking the potential of young people and securing long-term high-quality growth for their economies. The AU has adopted a landmark continental artificial intelligence strategy that aims to provide a roadmap on how the technology can be used to promote socio-economic development in Africa. The strategy outlines how the identity, culture and dignity of people on the continent can be protected through the ethical use of artificial intelligence. Meanwhile, the organization wants to bolster education and skills training for young people in Africa to prepare them for future work. The AU says it is worried about the teacher deficit on the continent, which is estimated at 15 million. The organization is also looking to mobilize resources to invest in teacher training across member countries to ensure the deficit is reduced. In Accra, Ghana, Nabil Ahmed Rufai, reporting for DD India.
You're watching DD India Live. We're heading for a short break. But after the break, US officials warn of ongoing threats to US critical infrastructure from hackers linked to China. Nipah infection detected in a 14-year-old boy from Malappuram district. 214 people put under observation and 60 in the high-risk category. India faces UAE in Group A clash of Women's T20 Asia Cup on Sunday.
As the world gears up for the biggest sporting extravaganza, Olympics 2024, we at DD India are all set to bring you reports, reactions and all the latest action from Ground Zero. Watch DD India's super exclusive show, Cheer for Bharat. Only on DD India from July the 22nd at 6:30 p.m. IST, 1 p.m. GMT. Get ready to cheer for Indian athletes at the Paris Olympics 2024.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India Live. As tensions continue between Taiwan and China, fears are growing that the US could get pulled into a possible conflict against Beijing that could test the country's cyber defense. American officials have warned of ongoing threats to US critical infrastructure from hackers linked to China. DD India's Ira Spitzer reports from San Francisco on this.
Inside computer networks, cybersecurity threats are lurking. For nations, threats to critical infrastructure like transportation and energy are a major security risk.
So if an adversary can identify and map out critical infrastructures, that can be used, again, as part of a targeting campaign and give them an advantage.
The U.S. believes China is doing just that. Government agencies, including the NSA and FBI, have assessed that Chinese state-sponsored hackers are seeking to pre-position themselves on IT networks for disruptive or destructive cyber attacks against U.S. critical infrastructure in the event of a major crisis or conflict with the U.S. China has dismissed those allegations as baseless. U.S. officials have also warned the cyber threat extends beyond the country's borders.
Our concern has always been that this actor will reach out to other places, particularly U.S. allies or places where U.S. troops are stationed.
Earlier this month, Australia accused Chinese-linked hackers of targeting networks within the country. Those accusations were backed by allies including the U.S., the UK, South Korea, and Japan.
While there may be consensus that this is a major threat, combating it is more difficult, given the complications of overhauling computer networks.
We know what needs to be done. The question is, do we have the political will, the social will, and certainly the financial will to implement the necessary countermeasures?
A recent Supreme Court ruling may make things more difficult. It reduced federal agencies' ability to craft regulations on issues like cybersecurity, meaning it may now be up to Congress to advance legislation to shore up U.S. cyber defenses. Ira Spitzer in San Francisco for DD India.
India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the 46th session of the World Heritage Committee at Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi on Sunday. Prime Minister Modi will address the gathering on the occasion. The meeting will be attended by more than 2,000 delegates from over 150 countries. India is hosting the UNESCO event for the first time from July 21st to 31st of July. The World Heritage Committee meets once a year and is responsible for managing all matters pertaining to World Heritage and deciding on sites to be inscribed on the World Heritage list. The 46th UNESCO World Heritage Committee meeting is set to take place in New Delhi, as we told you, and it will witness archaeologists and culture ministers from across the globe descending to India's capital. This prestigious event will be held at Bharat Mandapam, bringing together delegates from around the world to discuss and deliberate on preservation of cultural and natural heritage sites. Up next, we get you a report by our correspondent, Dibendu Mondal.
The 46th UNESCO World Heritage Committee meeting is set to unfold in the heart of India's capital, New Delhi. This committee meeting is a cornerstone event where experts and delegates from around the globe converge to evaluate the state of existing World Heritage sites and consider new nominations. It is a significant gathering uniting nations in their shared commitment to preserving humanity's most treasured cultural and natural heritage. The process is rigorous, involving detailed assessments and reviews to ensure that only sites of outstanding universal value make it to the prestigious list. In this session, the committee will examine the dossiers of 28 sites proposed for inscription on the World Heritage List. The sites will be examined according to category, natural, mixed and cultural.
इस बैठक में जो अब तक साइट्स ऐसी चुनी गई हैं जिनके बारे में मैंने आपसे निवेदन किया, उनके अपकीप, मेंटेनेंस, रखरखाव के बारे में तो चर्चा होगी, उनका फर्दर इवैल्यूएशन होगा ही। जहां कमी रही है वहां उसे अलर्ट करने की दिशा में भी अलर्ट्स भी इशू किए जाएंगे, लेकिन साथ साथ ही जो नए डोजियर सबमिट हुए हैं उनकी समीक्षा होकर के नई ऐतिहासिक वैश्विक धरोहरों को जो है सूचीबद्ध करने का काम भी इस बैठक में होने वाला है।
India proudly boasts 40 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, each telling a unique story of our rich history and natural splendor. From the majestic Taj Mahal in Agra, the architectural marvel of Hampi in Karnataka, to the serene Sundarbans National Park in West Bengal. These sites are a testament to India's diverse heritage. This time, India has nominated the Moidams, the mound burial system of the Ahom dynasty of Assam, to be inscribed into the prestigious list. UNESCO World Heritage Sites represent the pinnacle of cultural and natural heritage. The first World Heritage Sites were designated in 1978, and since then, the list has grown to include over 1,100 sites globally. However, to get to this list is a meticulous process, followed by rigorous evaluation by expert advisory bodies. Each site should demonstrate outstanding universal value, integrity and authenticity. The final decision rests with the World Heritage Committee during its annual meeting. Dibyendu Mondal's report for DD India.
India's government has called an all-party meeting on Sunday ahead of the budget session of Parliament. During the meeting, the government will call on for cooperation from all opposition parties for smooth functioning of both the houses of Parliament. The budget session will begin on Monday and will continue till 12th of next month. Meanwhile, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will present Union Budget 2024-25 in the Lok Sabha on Tuesday. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiran Rijiju will hold the meeting of floor leaders of all parties in the Parliament. This is the first budget of the third term of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government. The Indian Embassy, in collaboration with Cambodian authorities, said that they rescued 14 Indian nationals trapped in cybercrime scam on Saturday. Now, these Indian individuals were the victims of alleged high-income job scams but ended in forced criminal activity in Cambodia. The Indian Embassy stressed that it was working for their expeditious return back home. Furthermore, it reiterated its efforts of rescuing Indian nationals from fraudulent job offers in Cambodia that lured them into cybercrime operations. The embassy has now facilitated the safe return of over 650 Indian citizens targeted by such scams. Also, they urged Indian citizens in Cambodia to report any suspicious concerns into the matter to the embassy. A quick look at other stories making it to the headlines from across India now. Kerala Health Minister Veena George has confirmed Nipah infection in a 14-year-old boy from Malappuram district. Minister George, who met media in Malappuram on Saturday, said that Pune's National Institute of Virology had confirmed the infection in the boy, who is currently under treatment at a private hospital. After the detection, 214 people have been put under observation and 60 in the high-risk category. On the occasion of Guru Purnima, a large number of devotees gathered along the banks of the sacred Ganga river to take holy dip, seeking blessings and spiritual purification. Guru Purnima is a religious Hindu festival dedicated to offering respect to all the spiritual and academic gurus. Sawan, a sacred month in Hinduism, is dedicated to Lord Shiva. It will also begin from Monday. It is considered the time of spiritual growth and devotion and is marked by religious observances and significance. All right, on to sports now. India will take on the UAE in the Group A clash of Women's T20 Asia Cup in Dambulla on Saturday with an eye on the semi-final berth. A win can push Indian team firmly towards the semi-final spot. Defending champions India's supremacy was evident in their easy 7-wicket victory over arch-rivals Pakistan on Saturday, while Nepal defeated more fancied UAE by 6 wickets in the tournament opener. The UAE will require a miracle to stop Harmanpreet Kaur's side. The 8 participating teams in the tournament have been divided in 2 groups. The top 2 from each will move to the semis. The summit clash will take place in Dambulla on July 28th. On to cricket. Former world number 1 Rafael Nadal reached final of the Swedish Open on Saturday after he battled past Djuraj Djokovic in the 3rd set thriller. Nadal overcame his opponent for 6-3, 6-4 in a hard-fought encounter. The 22-time Grand Slam champion advanced into his first final since winning the French Open in 2022. Nadal faced another tough challenge from his opponent after his quarterfinals match. Nadal, who won the Bastad tournament as a teenager in 2005, will compete for his 93rd singles title on Sunday. He is using the tournament to prepare for the Paris Olympics. In a heartwarming community initiative in Bolivia, elderly stray dogs are finding much needed care and comfort. The program, spearheaded by local animal welfare organizations, aimed to provide shelter, medical attention to senior dogs who have spent their lives on the streets. The initiative has also raised awareness about the importance of adopting older dogs. With that, we end this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those of you on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. This app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. You can scan the QR code on your screens to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off, and from all of us at In Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.